So you're a new player and you're thinking, man, I want to get those beautiful double 100 stats, triple 100 stats, which by the way, I have some awesome guides on that on the channel. I will drop the link to those videos in the description. Trust me, check them out. There's a lot of information in those videos and it will make it way easier for you guys to hit double 100 and triple 100 stats. But for this video, I want to try and explain for new players where you can try to get amazing armor pieces such as this one, for example, where you have amazing stats, and which activities to focus first to make double 100 and triple 100 stats possible. So as a new player, when you hop into the game and you go to your destinations, you're not going to have these pinnacles, which are these yellow dots on the screen available. You have to follow a quest, I believe, and then eventually you will unlock it. It's not like a super long process, but before you unlock these, you can do the Crucible and the Vanguard Strikes, right? Which means that both of these will award you with some armor pieces or weapons. Now, when you do get those armor pieces, there is a chance that some of them will be really good. One thing you want to pay very close attention to, ladies and gentlemen, is the stat distribution of the armor piece. A lot of people, and once again, I explain all of this in way more detail in those videos, so make sure to check them out. But a lot of people make the mistake of deleting armor pieces that drop at 55 initial power level. For example, these boots right here, as you can see, the level they dropped at is 55. Now, is that high? Definitely not. It can be 65, 67, which would be way better, which would be the perfect case scenario. But if the stat distribution is correct, it can be 55 and still be really good. For example, if these boots had 19 mobility, let's say 15 recovery, and then 15 intellect, it would be fine. So it's more about the stats you're looking for being high on that specific armor than the initial level that it drops at. So keep that in mind. So as a new player, yes, you can get pretty good armor pieces from the Crucible and from the Strikes. Another thing you guys want to focus on is the Prime Engrams. Not only do they drop at a higher power level when you get to Prime Engrams, but they also have a chance to give you some really cool armor pieces that have a higher initial drop level. And if you also get lucky, it will have the stat distribution that you're looking for, which would make a perfect armor piece. One thing that you guys want to keep in mind when you're playing Destiny 2 is that this game doesn't really have a dedicated crafting system. So in big MMOs, what you can do is you can focus the chest piece, right? You can craft it, then you can focus the stats that you're looking for and try to get a higher number on that stat every time you craft a new armor piece. In Destiny 2, there is nothing that even comes close to that. They've tried something like that and it didn't really work out because the stats were still not distributed correctly, and even if they were, the numbers were pretty low. Another really cool way to get highly rolled armor pieces are the dungeons in Destiny. So when you run the dungeon, there's a high chance that you get an armor piece with a highly rolled stats, and hopefully the distribution is going to be correct, and that's about it. Now let's get into the more top tier content that definitely has better chance to drop higher level gear and give you the stats you're looking for. Once again though, keep in mind, this does come down to RNG. You might get a 67 armor drop and it still might not have the distribution that you need. However, the higher the armor piece is, the better chance you have of the distribution being in your favor, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind. Nightfalls are obviously gonna be an amazing way to farm these highly rolled armor pieces, and exotics too, which is just a great thing. Sometimes we have double loot, triple loot Nightfalls, which means that you can do one run and get 2 exotics. And in my experience, the exotics that I usually get from the Nightfalls are really highly rolled, and the distribution on them is pretty good too. So Nightfalls is definitely one of the best ways you can farm these highly rolled armor pieces, both for legendaries and exotics. And speaking of exotics, if you're looking for exotic armor piece that you want to get and you're also trying to get high stats on it, Lost Sectors are your best bet. They rotate. Sometimes they have gloves, legs, chest, helmet, whatever it is. They can be at 1310 light, 1340, but the point is this is pretty much the best way to farm armor pieces when it comes to exotics in Destiny 2. Okay, now it's been some time, you're enjoying Destiny 2, you got your team, and you can hop into the raids. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, raids are also a perfect way to get really highly rolled armor pieces, and in general get armor pieces that drop at a higher level. Not just the stats, but the initial drop of the armor piece. Right here, these gloves I got from the raid. Now I have a mobility increase on this one, which adds +10, which means that this one dropped at 13 mobility, actually 11 because it's also masterworked. So the initial drop would be 11, 17, and 14 for the stats that I'm looking for, which would be mobility, recovery, and intellect. And I gotta say, that is pretty good. The initial level drop of the arms was also really high. So overall, at the end game, if you have a team doing raids and getting those highly rolled armor pieces is a good thing. Raids will give you some cool armor, but I know it's not that easy to get a team and so on. So for all the new players, this will be the rotation you want to do. When you get on into the game, you can either do Crucible or the Strikes. Try to get some armor pieces from there. Hopefully you get the right distribution. Don't forget to pay close attention to those prime engrams. You also have those amazing lost sectors. Do the dungeons, do the nightfalls, and then get into the raids. That's what you want to do. That's the way you want to try to chase these armor pieces. As mentioned, we don't have a dedicated crafting system. Oh, and one more thing before I move on to the last and final tip for these armor pieces is also pay closer attention to the normal legendary engram drops too. Once again, simply because of the stat distribution. And last but not least, if you're playing in the season of the Splicer, make sure to check the Splicer Gauntlet out. And right here, I haven't unlocked the level 3 yet, you will see the vulnerability exploit. It says corrupted Vex chests can now drop up to 3 pieces of seasonal gear with high stat or double perk rolls per week. You want to upgrade this tree right here, ladies and gentlemen. And when you do get the armor to drop, hopefully the distribution will be correct and you will get the god roll that you're looking for. So guys, this right here is the closest you will get to crafting when it comes to Destiny 2, right? You can't really craft specific ones, but at least you know that the armor that will drop is kind of guaranteed to have high stats. So that's a great thing. If you haven't started doing this yet, make sure to keep some decrypted data and use it on this upgrade right here. And once you do, I really hope you get the god rolls that you're looking for. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this video. I don't think there is any really other ways that I can tell you guys to make this grind easier. Honestly, at the end of the day, you gotta get a bit lucky and get the right armor pieces, but there's a lot of new players that make some simple mistakes and just delete armor pieces that drop at 55, 54, thinking that, oh, I can get a 60 or 62 and that is way better. So I hope you don't make that mistake. Once again, check out the videos that are in the description. They will help you out a lot. And don't forget to tune into the streams here on YouTube every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday around reset time for Destiny 2. We're also going to be streaming tons of Battlefield 2042 here in the near future. Thank you once again for all the amazing support. I appreciate every single one of you. And as always, have a crazy, beautiful day.